All right, so today we're going to go ahead and learn about the surface area and volume of cones. Let's go ahead and for this one, here's the nice part. For surface area and volume of cones really only has one extra formula, and that's area of the base. We already know that the area of the base is going to be pi times the radius squared. So when we go in there, let's go ahead and get our special formulas in there. I'm just going to go ahead and draw it because if we remember correctly, oh wait, does it do it? That'd be so awesome. There was like something fancy up there. I was all excited. Okay, we've got pi. So pi, oh, that's really small. Let's make this larger, like tons larger. No, it still doesn't work. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just draw it because that's just a little bit easier. So just kidding about all of this. Let's go back really quick. It doesn't really matter, but we're going to go ahead and do area of a circle. I'm going to clear it out and go back to my stuff here. Area of a circle is equal to pi, which we said pi is going to be 3.14 for our sake, times the radius, times the radius again, right? So 3.14 times the radius squared, or 3.14 times the radius. Right. So that's our formula for the area of a circle. It's the same that we've been using. So again, let's just go through. We've got our formula. Surface area is equal to base plus pi times the radius times the height. So I'm going to go ahead and put B is equal to the area of the base. Okay. Same formula we've been using with 3.14 times the radius squared. Okay. R just stands for our radius. Okay. And that's already listed in our figure. H, for our sake, for our surface area, is our slant height. Slant height is just the height of the slant on your cone. So it is the slant height. Okay, and S stands for surface area. And just like last time, we're going to go ahead and follow the same steps every time. That's why I have these boxes here, because we want to go through and do the same steps every time. So let's go ahead and go down, and we're going to go ahead and solve for the first one. So our first problem here, we've got our table here. We're going to go ahead and we're finding the area of our base first. So we're going to say, okay, still using the same formula again. We're saying it is going to be 3.14 times 2 times 2. Okay, when we put that together, we're going to get 12.56. Okay, so that's the area of our base. Our radius is just 2. And our slant height in this is going to be 7. Okay. So again, we're just plugging in numbers. We only have to solve one extra thing on this, and then we plug it all into our formula. So our formula here, we're saying we've got S. We don't know what that is yet. But our B, we know, is 12.56 because we just calculated. That's our area of the base. We're going to add that, okay, to pi, which we said is 3.14, times our radius of 2, times our slant height of 7. Okay. When I plug that all into the calculator, again, I do 12.56 time or plus 3.14 times 2 times 7, and I get 56.52 as my surface area. Okay. What I want you to do is go ahead and try this next one on your own. Okay, your surface area for this figure should have been 565.2. And the way that you get that is we start off and we find the area of our base. So we take that 3.14 times our radius squared. And I just did times 9 so that you wouldn't have to see the squared there. And you get 254.34. Then we find our radius. Our radius is 9. We don't have to do any calculations. We find our slant height. Our slant height is 11. And then we just put it all together in our formula. So we're saying the area of the base plus pi times the radius times the slant height. Okay. When we put that all in together, we get a surface area of 600 or 565.2. Go ahead and do the next one on your own. Okay, so first for this, we're going to find the area of our base. So we do 3.14, and I apologize, I typed extra, but it should still come out right, times 5, and we get 78.5. We find our radius, which is 5, which is just listed there. So finding it, it's just looking at the figure. We find our slant height, which is 10, and then we plug it into our formula. So we're saying the area of the base plus pi times our radius times our height, and we're going to end up with 235.5 as our answer. Let's go ahead and move on, and we're going to work on volume. And volume, again, we're still going to go ahead and we're going to do the same formula for the area of a circle because you're going to need that here. So our area of the circle, or our area of the base, is going to be pi, or 3.14, times the radius squared. So same formula we've been using. So again, just as a reminder, that B is equal to the area of the base. And this time H represents the height of the figure, okay? And that's from the center of the circle. Okay, V represents our volume. And the only difference between what we did with our cylinders versus what we're doing here is when we get done, we're going to divide by 3. And that's how we solve this. So let's go ahead and I'm going to model one here now. So we're going to start with our area of the base. Area of the base, we're saying is 3.14 is pi times 5 times 5. Okay, when we put that together, we get 78.5, I believe. Let me put that in my calculator just to be sure because I don't know that one off the top of my head. So 3.14 times 5 is in fact 78.5. Our height is 11. So when we plug in our formula, we're saying, okay, 78.5 times 11 divided by 3. And on these, we're going to go ahead and just round to one decimal place, which is the tenths place. So we're saying 78.5 times 11 divided by 3 is going to be 287.8. If you put 0.83, that's fine, but we only need to round to one decimal place. So like I said, the only difference between what we were doing before and what we're doing now, so when we did cylinders, and this should be volume of cones, not cylinders. I forgot to change the name, but is we're going to divide by 3 instead. Go ahead and do this one on your own. Okay, for this problem, we're taking our to find our area of the base. Now, keep in mind, right now, this figure is giving you the diameter. So we have to make sure that we have our radius. Our radius is half the diameter, so it's going to be 13. So we do 3.14 times 13 times 13, because that's how we find the area of our base, and we get 530.66. The height of our figure is 8, and so I take the area of the base, which is 530.66, times my height, which is 8, and then I divide it by 3. And remember, we're rounding to the nearest tenths place, so when I get that in my calculator, I end up with 1,415.1. Go ahead and do the next one on your own. Okay, so for this one, we're going to go ahead and again, we're finding the area of our base, which is 3.14 times our radius of 18 times our radius of 18, or 3.14 times 18 squared, and we get 1,017.36. Our height is 22. And so we take and we plug in our formula, and we end up with the area of our base, which is 1,017.36, times our height, which is 22, and then we divide by 3, and so we get 7,460.6. Once you have finished watching this video, go ahead and log into IXL and complete the codes that have been assigned to you for this lesson.